our lovely viewers of Bethan TV, thank you so much for making it a point to tune in and watch the Nutrition Spot. And thank you so much for being a part of the amazing programs that we have as Bethan TV, the Sunset Lounge. I know some of you enjoy so much the other particular segment of exercising. I believe we're doing you a great service. And from you exercising, we come onto the Nutrition Spot to make sure that from doing exercise, you eat the right foods or the right nutrients that your body needs to be able to be in good shape. Well, today it marks to be the 27th of July 2023, and it's about time we say goodbye to July. Well, it happens also that tomorrow, the 28th of July, is the World Hepatitis Day or the World Liver Day. And what does that mean? It means that each one of you should take interest in knowing that it's important for you to go and test for hepatitis and screen for hepatitis. And in any case, if you test positive or negative, the health workers will take you through the drill of what is supposed to be done. If you want to get to understand more about hepatitis or the different liver diseases, you can join us on Health and Wellness on Saturday on Bethan TV. So do not go anywhere. Well, my name is Gift Nakainga, today having the privilege to host the best nutritionists around town, around town, and that is Mercy and Peter Mugambe. So just be expectant, be eager to learn, be eager to be enlightened on particular things that maybe you didn't even have any idea about. So anyway, what I like about my job is sometimes you talk about things and you feel like, hey, can I even do this myself, as I am trying to stress it out to the viewers that they should do this. But anyway, we talk about stuff, and here we are tonight going to discuss the cost of hunger. But before I go into the details of this, let me welcome my guests, my nutritionists on board to just, I feel like I want to ask them how this year has been for them before we discuss like serious matters. So Peter, how has been the year 2023 so far?
The year 2023 has been a very, very good year for me. And I'm actually very glad that I'm here and I'm talking to very many people, especially our viewers on Bethany TV.
And everyone in Uganda now
everyone
is
in Uganda, and I think even abroad, some people today have tuned in.
They're on YouTube watching.
YouTube and all kinds of, social media platforms. So I'm really, really excited.
Would you say that it's a good year?
It is a very beautiful year, a very good year, and it has just begun. So I'm really excited for all the nutritionists and dietitians out there, especially my brothers from Chambogo University, and all our advocates, and and you guys who are doing this program.
Being it's been a good year, we might come and ask for a time. Anyway, Mercy, how is year 2023?
2023 is amazing so far, I should say. It has been a year full of exciting things, different things, new things. So far so good, I should say.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Call people to watch the program.
Wow.
There are so many people even abroad, but you're all most welcome. Our viewers, family and friends, fellow students, fellow workers, you are very, very welcome to Bethany TV. And I'm excited about this session today. I just want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Thank you so much, Mercy. So much welcome onto Bethan TV. Well, just a brief of that. According to the UNICEF, more than a third of all the young children, or say 24 million, are in a stunt kind of state, and the damage is caused by stunting. We are told that it is irreversible, and we see that rates of anemia are especially alarming, affecting half of the children under 5 and in 1 every 3 women of childbearing age. And of course, that's 17 women who die in childbirth every day in Uganda, 4 die of complications that are linked to anemia. We see also that between year 2013 and year 2015, it's estimated that more than 500,000 young Ugandan children died, and of those deaths, we see that nearly half were associated with undernutrition. Talk of undernutrition, which is basically responsible for 4 in 10 deaths of children under 5s, and yet as many as 82% of the cases of childhood undernutrition are being related to conditions that go untreated. Tonight, our topic of discussion is on to the cost of hunger, and then we see that all these kinds of statistics really are so much in line to the topic of discussion that we are yet to discuss. If you are watching us on YouTube, it is Bethan TV Uganda. For any questions, any submissions, we welcome them. But as you type onto our YouTube, kindly let us know where you are watching the program from, such that we be able to send our regards to those different people in the community. And if you are on Facebook, do the same. Let us know where you are watching from. Those that would want to call in, the number will be put over the screen later. I will be letting you know when we shall be able to receive calls. But let's get into the gist of our topic of discussion, the cost of hunger. Let's understand what it is about. I'll go straight away to Mercy.
Thank you so much, Gift. Well, hunger is something broad, and when you just hear the word hunger, it will seem like a normal thing. Yes, it is normal, but yet not normal at the same time. And we are measuring today not on that feeling of hunger which everyone feels, but deeper into undernutrition, where the body is affected in a way that there's limited access and intake to nutrients.
Yes.
So one's body to be undernourished means that the supply of the nutrients to their body is inadequate to meet the needs that the body has.
Yes, and it has been consistent over a long period of time, whereby actually you may find that there are also occurrences of infections. So the occurrence of infections and a consistent inadequate intake of nutrients actually results into what we call hunger. If you hear the word hunger, it may just sound like that feeling of discomfort alone. But actually, when we are talking about the cost of hunger, we have gone into the details of the undernutrition. What is undernutrition costing Uganda as a whole and costing Africa as a whole? Which is really, really very huge, according to the statistics that you have just given us. If you look at those statistics, almost a third of all young children in Uganda are stunted, and it is really, you know, actually, if you read our nutrition fact sheets from the nutrition sector, you will find that we have already paid too high a price in terms of the costs that are going towards what? Nutrition, undernutrition.
Thank you so much. But Mercy talked about the inadequacy of the nutrients. Could it be one of the main factors as to why we're into this kind of state of the cost of hunger?
Yes, because like he has mentioned, it goes from just a feeling of discomfort to affecting one's immune system, whereby because nutrients are needed for the body to fight against diseases. So if the nutrients are not adequate, now the person or child, like we mentioned earlier, that the people that are most affected by this cost of hunger that we're talking about are majorly the women of childbearing age and children. Yes. So that lack of nutrients affects the body, so the person is more susceptible to infections, which also affects their immunity.
I feel like I want to have my viewer that is deep down in Nakaseke well to understand what exactly this cost is. And of course, I wouldn't say gone other days, but back then they could tell us, abantu bom Kampala bambi muli bubi because emmere yagula like 24/7 you're spending on food. And they could say that for them they have like food in abundance, like they could have access to food anytime, anywhere. Yeah. But now I think post-COVID, we realized that now people that are in the villages actually want to get food from town to take to the villages. So if you say that the cost is really overwhelming, I would want to start thinking, could it be maybe in the villages? Could it be now in the urban setting? Where is it basically at its peak?
Thank you, Gift. Well, shockingly, this cost of hunger that we're talking about does not segregate. Okay, it goes from wealthy households to those that are
low income.
Let's say low income. So it does not segregate, because someone from a wealthy household, yes, if they are not feeding, right, because it's not really about having the money, but investing that money that you have in foods that are nutritious, foods that are going to build. Can you stress that?
Because I was telling a friend and I was telling them, kati tugenda kwogera ku njala omuntu ali ajja kunyiga ajja kugamba enjala mujyogerako. Are you guys going to give us food like nga maybe we bakola mu COVID and they could give some people food? But now if you say that it's not only about people that are low income earners, but it also stretches to even those that are in well-to-do families. Just enlighten us about that more.
Why we are talking about this cost of hunger is that, like I already said, that it is not about the wealthy or those that are having low income levels in their house, but it goes beyond to how much knowledge do you have about what to eat and when to eat it, the amount, the portions, yes? So if we are looking at hunger, you could be, not literally, but hungry in an aspect of you are lacking a certain nutrient, that is micronutrient deficiency. So the undernutrition that we're looking at here goes into stunting, into wasting, into being underweight and having deficiency of micronutrients in the body, and all these either alone, like a standalone.
Can you break down the cycle in Luganda, as in stunting and what?
Luganda, I think my Luganda counterparts could
I'm a very good person in Luganda. So what we are talking about, the cost of hunger, enjala eno gye tugezaako okwogerako si njala ya kulumwa njala nti emirembe gimpeddeko
siridde kya misana kati
nzigwawo abamu ku ffe tumanyi n'okusiiba abasiraamu abalokole tubeera tusiiba naye enjala eno gye tugogerako y'enjala y'obutaba na birungo mu mubiri gw'omuntu. Ebirungo ebyo bye tuyita proteins, carbohydrates, micronutrients zemulira zinc. Abantu balala no COVID mwawulira nga banonya zinc buli wamu, abanonya vitamin A. So enjala eyo gye tugezaako okwogerako, enjala eno manifestinga oba erabikira mu bintu ebyenjawulo. Ebintu ebimu ku ebyo bye tuyita stunting. Nosanga omuntu nga bw'otunuulira emyaka gye, basically stunting ye abeera w'abaana bato. Tutera nnyo mutunuulira ku baana bato. Abaana abo babeera wakati w'emyaka, wansi w'emyaka nga5, nga bw'omutunuulira emyaka gye tosobola gigeraageranya na buwanvu bwe nga mumpi nnyo ku myaka gye. Era tusobola n'okirabira mu situations eza ze tuyita underweight, nga omwana ono alina weight ye nga ntono nnyo ku myaka gye. Nga bwe tupima ne tukebera ne kye tuyita nutrition indices zaffe nga ba nutritionist, omuntu ono weight ye eri wansi nnyo ku myaka gye. Endala gy'abadde agezaako okunyonyola gye tuyita wasting. Nosanga ng'omwana alina weight ye, kwegamba obuzito bwe butono nnyo ku buwanvu bwe. Be babaana abemusanga ennyo mu mwana mugimu bw'oba ogenzeko wanene mulago, abaana abeera nga balwadde ne batuuka ku eyo situation. So that is eyo y'enjala gye tugezaako okwogerako, nti enjala eno n'ebyo byereeta ng'omwana akyali muto n'okuyita mu bulamu bw'omuntu yenna. What is that implication on your ability as a person and on the country itself? That is the cost of hunger that we are trying to analyze this evening.
Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you so much, Mercy. To those that have just joined us, kyakaba tunyonyodde bulungi cost of hunger. Nzobedda nina abayomba ngagamba kati mwogera ku njala mwagala tugamba tulye buli luvannyuma lwa 5. Anyway, I think we've been able to really understand njala kikakyo okubeera nga tofuna nutrients zimala mu mubiri gwo, yenjala eyo gye bali mu kwogerako olwaleero. Well, we believe that hunger is just not a problem in the developing world. Bakampasa tobogerako mbalina bali mu kulaba program. So it's not just a problem in the developing world, but it affects millions of people worldwide. And also we see that because of this kind of hunger, malnutrition has deprived individuals of their full potential, starting physical and cognitive growth, also creating a viscous cycle of poverty, and someone being so vulnerable. So tonight we would want to look at the different causes and also look at the solutions to the causes. Twagala tulabe biki ebireeta enjala ekika kino okubeera nga ffe tetufuna nutrients zimala ate n'okuba nga twagala okumanya tuzifuna tutya. But before we go into that, I would want my nutritionists to relate the cost of hunger to food security and insecurity. To you, Peter.
Okay. All right. So the cost of hunger is directly related to the situation of food security in the country. And food security, there are very many factors that affect it, and one of them actually is the very, very important one called poverty, which I know very many Ugandans are conversant with this issue. But if you look at poverty itself, if you are poor, and I wouldn't like to use the word poor on people, but
okay, if you don't have enough.
Yes.
Okay.
Low income. Low income status means that you have a low purchasing power. And when there is a situation of low purchasing power, it is going to limit, first of all, your access. For example, if you had a condition where you needed to get almonds, but you found yourself to be in a situation where you are incapacitated in terms of finances, this means that you will end up having to go you will not have the ability to access the almonds because you may need to import them or go to an expensive supermarket. You see? So that is access. And in addition to access, you will find that actually you will not be able to have what we call variety.
Toja kusobola kufuna bimala ebintu ebyenjawulo.
Okay. Nti yes, osobola okuba nga obadde oli akawunga n'ebijanjalo buli lunaku. Naye bw'oba olidde akawunga n'ebijanjalo, waliwo nutrients endala eziri mu bintu ebirala z'otagenda kujja mu kawunga na bijanjalo buli lunaku.
Nga wendyatazayo ka Irish.
Ojja kwetaagayoko ku mboga, ojja kwetaagayoko ku mata, ebintu bwe bityo. So ku magi. Naye olw'okuba nti there is a problem of low income, you find that you are limited in terms of access, you are limited in terms of the varieties of foods that you can have, and you are also limited in terms of the amounts of foods that you can have. Very many campuses can actually bear me witness that because of the economic situation, ojja kwesanga nga fries z'osobola okulya za 13. And yet, after eating those fries for 3,000, you are not even able to feel that you have eaten anything. So it becomes really a very, very compounding situation. So the situation, the food security situation in the country, that is why we always, as nutritionists, we always advocate that let every household start to practice what we call backyard farming. Bobo ine waka, limawo dodo, limawo kusunsa, limawo ku teka woko ku bintu ng'osobola okusupplementinga ku mmere eno gy'oguze. Bobo fine olina kawunga kokka, ne teka koko ku cabbage, teka koko ku bintu birala. So
thank you so much, Peter. So I've been laughing to myself. What I like about my job is we talk about stuff. But anyway, we would want to understand what causes chichechireta enjala ekikachide yokubeera nga tofuna birungo bimala mu mubiri okuyita mu byokulya, and what could be the solutions to this. But we would also want to first understand what is affected most by this cost of hunger. Is it the health system? Could it be the economics? Could it be the productivity levels and all other things? And like Peter has mentioned about the food security, if you've been following our different series and episodes of the Nutrition Spot, we've ever addressed the food security issue in our country, Uganda, and we say that food has to be available, accessible, very well utilized by the people after they've been able to access it, and the other factor. But well, let's look at the different sectors that have been affected most by this, and then we shall see what could be the cause of these different effects in the different sectors. To you, Mercy.
Thank you, Gift. There are majorly 3 sectors that are affected. That is health, the education system, and the productivity or the economic system. So according to some of the statistics that you had read for us earlier, we saw that about more than a third, 1 out of 3 of children are stunted. That takes it to 2.4 million children, young children. That is a very high figure.
For a country like Uganda.
Yes. So the health sector is the one that is going to be in charge of that. So that is money that is being invested. And according to statistics, over 1.8 trillion Ugandan shillings
whooping 1.8 million
is spent to cater for the undernutrition, and not on things that are beneficial, but to try and solve this. And that 1.8 trillion Ugandan shillings is 5%, 5.6% of the GDP of Uganda, and that is a very, very high cost, expense on the economy of the country.
If we would get that 1.8 and we add it onto our budget that we are, you know,
and invest it in other areas, it would do a lot. But the money is now being spent on dealing with the stunted cases and all these
wasted cases.
And their lost productivity, the ability those people would have done. For example,
talk about the education system, because earlier you mentioned that one about atawana, that's if they are under into that kind of situation. So talk about the education system.
Yes, when it comes to the education system, actually, you will find that there is there are a number of players that come into place. One of them is that if a child has first, let's say, stunting or iodine deficiency or anemia while they are still young, you'll find that in their lifestyle they will have what we call cognitive impairment, which means that the ability for them to learn will be impaired. Era abazadde abali eyo ng'omwana tonaba mukuba migo gya mugamba nti lwaki ogwa ebibuuzo lwaki okola ki sooka okebere si omwana akyomulisa. Omwana omukuta omutadde mu ssomero bamulisa kawunga na bijanjalo kuva ttaamu bwetandika paka lweggwa akomawo ko wiiki 3 ewaka n'addayo.
But even home they are eating portion and beans
even
for
at
lunch and supper. What remains is what you pass on to supper.
Yes, it is really a devastating issue. So that means that when a child is having what we call cognitive impairment, you will find that they will be less motivated to study. That is number 1. And number 2, you will find that those children will have a more tendency to repeat classes. Repeating classes, school dropouts, they have a higher chance of... So before we start condemning people and then we ask them at work, why is it that way you don't understand? Why is it that way you understand slowly? You first go and address the nutrition challenge.
I do not want our viewers calling and they start asking us questions in katichogamba omwana wange oba ono mukozi gwenina ku mulimu ensonga ki yayisabwa ati because bali abubi. Couldn't there be other factors besides that?
There is a high probability that nutrition actually played a major role during that person's early ages of life in terms of their learning ability. Of course, there are other factors, let's say genetics, and also the kind of environment that a person grows in and the facilities available for them to, you know, engage with the world.
Feeding takes...
But feeding, especially during what we call the first 1,000 days, is really very important. That is why we encourage our mothers, the moment you give birth to the baby, put them on breast milk. Actually, last week we saw our colleagues here talking about breastfeeding, right? And you see that breast milk is actually very important in cognitive development. So
balisa abaana sikawunga na
bijanja ate muwogo bannange muwogo
babajje ku muwogo
Uganda wanene muwogo yafuuka muwogo. So ate nga muwogo alimu anti-nutrients kibola nti weetaago kati gwe ng'omuzadde weetaaga okubeerayo ne personal dietitian oba nutritionist akubuulira omwana ono ogenda kutandika kumuliisa otya tukitegeera ekyo bannange
Peter katugende mu kuwummulama bana tubajja ku muwogo. Of course we're going to have people call in but tubuulire of course some of the solutions to this oli bw'abanga muwogo yekka gw'alina oba kawunga na bijanjaalo byokka by'alina, at least I believe there is a better solution to this, that they can forego the beans maybe for a day or two and then opt for other options. It is the Nutrition Spot. I'm Gift Nakayinga with Peter Mercy. Let's get into a break. We're coming back.
You're watching Nutrition Sport. We'll be right back after the break. Bethany TV for health. Get ready to celebrate all things manly. The Chord. The ultimate destination for men to explore, discover and conquer interests, passions and pursuits. Ready to level up your game? It's time to drop the stereotypes and demystify what it truly means to be a man. Excitement, inspiration, and brotherhood we share. Take charge, live life to the fullest, and become the man you've always wanted to be. The Chord, where men thrive. Every Monday, 8 p.m, live at Bethany TV with your hosts, Keith, Patrick, and Livingstone. In a world where true love can seem elusive, submission teaches that it's not about surrendering oneself, but rather entrusting your heart with someone to cherish it above all. The essence of submission, not as an act of dominance, but as a profound expression of trust, respect, and mutual understanding. Arise, woman, this Friday at 8 p.m. on Bethany TV. An enchanting journey into the depths of love, understanding, and acceptance. Submission in a relationship with your hosts, Gift, Genesis, Winnie, and Mercy. The Higher Life, the era of the Word Revolution with Apostle Dr. David Kunowa and Pastor Rita Bella Kunowa of Rivers of Life Assembly International, Boston, Massachusetts, USA. Streaming every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. East African Standard Time with the incorruptible, incomparable, and revolutionizing life-transforming Word of God. Only on Bethany TV for health. Bethany TV for health. And now, more with Nutrition Sport.
Did you all know that Uganda adopted what we call the pro-growth policies that helped to reduce poverty from percentage of 50-60% to, that was in year 1995, I was born a long time ago, to 25% in 2010. And also we saw a decline of 2% points in a year. And that means that it was expected that as household income had increased by then, and then now we see that undernutrition would maybe decrease. However, in year 2016, Uganda's demographic and health survey indicated that nutrition still exists in both the wealthy and then the poor households, and then that suggests that more income at the household level does not always lead to better diets or health practices. A nutritionist said that the cost of hunger is not only in households of low-income earners, but we also see it in wealthy families. Now, on Nutrition Sport, we are discussing the cost of hunger. If you are watching us live, thank you so much for being able to tune in and watch Bethan TV. If you are watching us on a different social media platforms, you are doing a great job. Let us know where you are watching Bethan TV from, and if you want to call us, the number is 0786050762. Tap that number, send a WhatsApp message, or call directly and ask your question. Maybe it could be or any other particular food, but that is the number 0786050762, and it's going to be over your screen. To those that are watching us on YouTube, you are doing a great job. I would want to go through a bit of the messages, and Regina Kwesima, the nutritionist here. Hey, a throwing fire. But Regina says, thanks Bethan TV for the initiative, and thanks to our nutritionists for today, watching live from Hoima. Regina, greetings to people in Hoima district, and this is Nantongo Agnes. She says, Bethan TV, thanks for the show. We are really enjoying the program. Watching live from Salama. So Abeka program. This is Mweba Zahana Roy. I'm understanding deeply when translated to my local language. Oh dear. Okay. Mwebaze, local language. What is your local language? Luganda. We're going to do that more. Then Mugisha Rogers says, well done, Peter Mugabe, enjoying the show from Chiriandongo refugee camp. Wow, this is amazing. Banange Rogers, thank you so much. Mwebaze says, watching live from Nakaseke district. Thank you, Nakaseke Wedo. Then Twiju, thanks for the insight. This is still Regina. What should us, the low-income people, eat? Sweetheart, we're going to get there, what you should eat. Then Nelson, wow, Peter and Mercy, we appreciate you guys coming out to share such vital issue. And Nelson says that Bethan TV should give such people more opportunities. You guys are wow. Well, the management is listening to this, but let's continue. Just one more message. This is from Sham Sudan Yende student. I think I'm not going to turn this one. Sham, you can resend your message. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching the Nutrition Sport. We went into the break and we were discussing the effect of this cost of hunger to the different sectors. That was on health, that was on education, and on the economics sector or the productivity sector. But our time is running so fast, we would want also to tackle a bit on what could be the causes and the solutions to this, such that people get the solutions actually. So quickly, before we might not get into the productivity and then into for the education, we shall get there. Yeah, but let's look at the causes and also the solution. What could be some of bichi ebinzo kuletera enenjala yokubanga tetufuna birungo bimala mu kuyita mmere gye tulya.
Okay, thank you, Gifts. Before we go deeper into the causes, there's something that Peter said here, that it does not, someone's performance at work may seem like they are maybe lazy or underperforming, yet it actually starts from way back. According to statistics, about 54% of people of working age, adults, were stunted in their childhood. That is over 8 million people that are working are not able to reach their maximum potential while working. So they under-deliver. Why? Because there was a cognitive impairment at some point in their childhood. Yes, they have grown thanks to maybe their genetics and other factors, but there is that caffeine somewhere that affects them. So this could be one of the causes. So our dear employers, let us be very considerate. If someone is not, doing what you want, it's not really about firing. Yes. It is putting all these things into perspective and probably having some employment of a nutritionist assigned to your company to, give you nutrition and health education, nutrition counseling, nutrition assessments, to see what is someone's nutrition status before condemning them, I should say.
Or maybe they send them back home for a leave to make sure that they feed well.
Yeah,
or now we have a solution. They can be able to watch the nutrition spot.
Yes.
And learn how to eat.
And learn.
How to eat
well.
how much
Nutrition
to
is a
eat.
very good motivator, by the way. For very many people who are discouraged out there, I think a plate of food would really cheer up your day.
So I think most times we've been like, maybe omuntu nga takola bulungi oba nyiganyiga oba she would be like, oh no, yembera ze, that's her personality, that is their, so it's about not them eating well. Tubategedde. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Then there is something that is somehow underlooked, yet it is like the foundation of everything, which is breastfeeding. That first 1 hour of a child. Yes, I know there are challenges. Maybe the mother was put on anesthetics and they are not okay, they are not sober enough, but there are things that you can actually give the child in that first 1 hour. But immediate breastfeeding helps. Exclusive breastfeeding, because what affects children is lack of the nutrients that the breast milk is going to provide, because breast milk is a whole load of nutrients in itself. It is enough in that in the first 6 months you don't even need to give, you know, these things that people give, latto, water, some meat soup.
Meanwhile, people are giving children, young children, those things, latto, meat soup, they are giving them tomato sauce, and you know, but the child has not yet crossed even yogurt. And the child is actually still less than 6 months, which is really very important for our viewers to note, and also to take upon themselves that before a child leaves those first 6 months, let the child do what we call exclusive breastfeeding. Then after that, they can continue what we call continued breastfeeding for 2 years, and then after the first 6 months, they can do what we call complementary feeding, which is in addition to the breast milk, there are some other foods, soft foods that you can start giving to the child. Why? Because once we introduce other things into this child's diet, they may introduce what we call infections. There is a high chance that a child can get infections that can actually impair their the ability for their digestive systems to digest and absorb those nutrients. So infections, actually, one of the things that actually causes these infections is a common infection is malaria. Ebimu kubireetera abaana banene abaana oba abantu okufuna kye tuyita enjala eno gye tuyita undernutrition. Ebiwuka, waliwo ebiwuka abaana ebazanyira ennyo mu bintu ettaka biki, oba omwana n'otandika omuwa fruits nga tanabatuuka kwejo emyaka emyezi nga tanayisa myezi 6, ojja kwesanga ng'otandise okuintroducinga obwo obuwuka obwo bublockinga ability ye oba obusobozi bwe okugyamu ebirungo byonna mu mmere gy'abeera alidde mu worms ezo. Then ekirala ndowooza malaria yennyini obulwadde buno omwana buli lwalwala ennyo abeera ndowooza mukiraba omuntu walwala aggwawo omubiri gwesala. Lwaki? Obulwadde bukozesa amaanyi mangi, bukozesa ebirungo bingi, era n'omwana waba ali mu stage eyo ewona akozesa ebirungo bingi ne bimuleetera okuba nga constantly ali undernourished. So oyinza okuba nga olina omwana naye ng'omwana buli kaseera abeera mulwadde. So eyo situation emuleetera okubeera nga asobola okubeera nga afuna ebizibu bino bye tuyitanga ebizibu nga stunting oba wasting oba obwo bulwadde obusobola okumuviirako ate ebizibu binene biri long term nga bigendamu affecting obulamu bwe bwonna. Yes, so
and basically I think you've mentioned about the infection, the diseases that could be another trigger or cause to the cost of hunger, and also you've talked about the poor feeding practices, and then you've also I think Peter wayogeddeko ku bwavu, and then but still in all this we would also want solutions. You've talked about the inadequacy or the people not being aware of all these things that are maybe kind of happening, but we would want to understand, for example, let's talk about poverty. I believe most of us are affected by that, and that could be a very huge trigger to this particular thing, the cost of hunger. So talk of the poverty as a cause of this, and also the solutions. Just like you've mentioned, we can't have children eat portion beans all the time, but then I'll tell you that as a family, this is what we can be able to provide, because this is what we can afford. So what could be the solutions to, especially actually to the poverty, to the poor feeding practices, to the inadequacy of knowledge and skills?
All right, so one of the things that we have to look at when we come to the area of solutions to this cost of hunger, because it is really a heavy burden on the country, not only on individuals but the country at large. One of the things that we have to notice and take into consideration is that for us to approach this problem, we have to use what we call a holistic approach and a coordinated approach. Tulina okolaganira awamu, tulina okozesa approach eneneko si ya muntu ng'omuntu
tekiri kunju oba kunju
muntu omu, kubanga gwe ne bw'oba osobodde otereza ewuwo nga neighbour ali bubi ogenda kuba toyambye society. Oba ekyo kitegeerekesa. So it is very important for us that we work together, the different sectors, the different communities, ba LC chairman, ba amasomero, ba stakeholders, ba decision makers, abantu abali mu government, so that we can start to do some of these things. Now, if we look at the problem of poverty, for instance, poverty, omuntu ayinza ogamba nti nenze sirina ssente, nyinza kukola ki? Ekimu ku bye tuyinza okukola, for example, tusobola okusalawo nti chairman baffe oba ba leaders baffe ne batukolerayo omwaganya abantu ne bafuna akataka basobola okukola ki? okulima greens, greens ezo mu community, oba ne solution endala eri nti obwavu bwo nga bwo tebusobola okujjawo obwavu. Point eyo yabadde denoted nti okujjawo obwavu si kyekigenda okujjawo undernutrition, naye okudiringa ne diet, eating practices ne health practices. So tusobola okukola ekisookera ddala kye tuyita common public health, wash, ne tulongoosa bye tukozesa, kubanga ebigenda olwaza abaana awaka okubalwaza okuviirako obulwadde buno ojja bisanga biri mu environment, nga tulina okutereza environment, sanitation, hygiene, okweyonja ffe nga ffe abazadde abakwatagana n'abaana bano oba n'abaana bennyini okujjawo ebintu byonna byonna ebiri mu environment yaffe. Then bwe tumala okukola ekyo, waliwo options eziri mu market nga tezikozesa sente nyingi. Bw'otunulira ebintu, bw'oba osobola otunulira akatale engeri gye katambulamu, waliwo ebintu ebibeera mu season, waliwo emmere ebeera mu season, emmere eba si ya bbeeyi nnyo. So families zisobola okusalawo ne zigamba nti engeri gye kiri nti season eno ya bijanjaalo, katugule ebijanjaalo bino tubitereke, oba katugule ekintu ekiriwo kye batali kuseera mu kaseera ako. So that money is not the issue. If we can deal away with saying that I don't have money, and we look at the cheaper options that we have, we can actually have a better outcome. So it is something that we can work on together in schools. For example, esomero linza okugamba nti ffe tulina budde na sente zigenda kuteeka mu byakulya by'abaana tubagulire enkoko n'ebirala. Ekyo si kyetugezaako okugamba. Naye essomero lyo nga lyo tusobola okuleeta ekisokera ddala singa tu introducing nutrition mu kusomesebwa ku ssomero, abaana bennyini bagenda kubeera nga bafunye skills n'amagezi agadiringa n'ekizibu kino kye tuyita undernutrition. Ekyokubiri, bwe tu introducing nutrition mu ssomero, essomero lisobola okutandikawo bu projects obwa nutrition, nga abaana be babukola. For example, animal husbandry, essomero nga lirinawo maybe balunda obumyu, balunda obuntuntu, ne balima ku buntuntu ku ssomero. Amasomero agedda gakolanga zi farm. ne wabeerawo varieties nti mu kijanjalo yesi bakikuwadde naye ekijanjalo kirimu entula ekijanjalo kijiddemuuko ku nakati
bakiseeremu ku birungo
ekintu ne kibeera nga tekiri kyokka so olaba nga poverty eno just kutubuzaabuza naye nga singa tuba tufunye approach eri more aggressive tusobola okuhandlinga situations zino ku levels ez'enjawulo.
Thank you so much. I think we talked about a bit of the poor feeding practices, but well, we've had a series of programs here at Bethany TV on different shows on the Pediatric Voice, on health and wellness, on nutrition sport, and we've tackled breastfeeding. And actually yesterday it was a Wednesday on the Pediatric Voice where Dr. Helen and Kate stressed the point of breastfeeding. So in any case, if you do not know how best you can breastfeed your children or your child, kindly go onto our social medias, look out for that program. We were looking at neonatal care and then newborn admissions and learn about that. So let's go to the point of addressing the inadequacy of knowledge and skills. He's talked about schools improvising, providing gardens, maybe getting children involved in these kinds of practices. And well, at school, I think agriculture is optional.
Yes.
Yes,
But anyway, let's see how best can we address the issue of inadequacy, Mercy, in knowledge.
Thank you so much, Gift. Awareness is something that is very important because some people are not feeding right because they may not know how to. So awareness through, for example, we said the most affected are children under 5 and women of childbearing age. So for example, at health facilities, we could conduct sessions, nutrition counseling sessions for example, the pregnant and lactating women, talking about things of breastfeeding, how to express milk, the kind of diets that they need to feed on, either prenatal or postnatal nutrition, the maternal nutrition. All these things are very important, and to also have things that communicate nutrition messages. For example, the IEC materials that could be pinned up on walls in a hospital to show the different food groups and how to balance. Then that gets back to the individual counseling. Yes, when you are meeting with the health personnel, this person should be able to explain to you as a mother that is breastfeeding, this is how you should feed, this is how you should take care of the baby, this is how often you should do certain things. Then aside from that, like he mentioned, incorporating this in schools, we could have nutrition as a subject in schools, primary schools, and in different things. It should not only be left to people who are interested in nutrition, because in the long term, in the long run, the medical doctor is going to now come to the nutritionist for some advice.
Hello,
So,
we have a caller. Hello. You are watching the Nutrition Sports and Bethany TV. Your names and where you calling us from? You are? Nalia? Amanyago na wajjo sinzidde okuba. We've lost that one. Try to call back again and be a bit audible. Osobola okendeza ku ddoboozi lya TV ne tusobola okuwulira. So tukyayogera ku enjala eno ey'okubanga tofuna nutrients zimala mu mubiri gwo. Yeah? And we said tekiri ku batayina, kiri ne kwabo abalowooza oba naddala nga tebalowooza nga balina, but they do not know how to properly utilize the kinds of resources that they have. Our time is not so much enough, and I would love to request experts tonight to just give us the take-home messages, maybe to our parents, to the policymakers, to the teachers in schools, to maybe to the communities, to the leaders in the communities, also maybe addressing on the misconceptions of, we've heard maybe in schools they will tell you, abakola agriculture, abakola nutrition, bebagala ennyo okulya. Basawo ba mmere. But okay, I'll start with you, Mase. What could be your take-home message to someone that is watching us now?
yeah, thank you so much, Gift. the take homes are quite a lot because this is a very broad topic, yet very, very important. We actually needed more time to go deeper into this topic. But the fight against this hunger is joint effort.
And let me have this call. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Amanya kuna wajo sinzi dokuba.
Hello, you're speaking to Ruth?
Yes, Ruth. First reduce the volume of your TV. Yes, yes,
I have
Ruth.
a 2-month-old baby.
Yes.
Yes, and how best, if I'm to leave her at home, with another caretaker, and I'm working. How can I make sure that this baby is going to?
Okay.
Oh, Ruth. So sorry, but I think we can try to figure out what she was trying to say.
Yes.
So,
there are very many mothers out there who are working class and they cannot really have enough time to, remain at home, or they cannot go with their children to work. So actually, one of the things that we advise as nutritionists, of course, you can go and meet up with another dietitian and nutritionist and they can go into more detail, but we encourage what we call expressing breast milk. Waliwo skill ey'okugyamu amata mu mabeere n'ofuna w'ogateeka bw'oba olina ka fridge omwana n'akola ki n'asobola okuyita mu lunaku ng'alina amata.
Thank you, Peter. Hello.
Hello?
Hello, you are watching the Nutrition Sport. Amanya gona wajo sinzi dokuba.
Yeah, I'm Joyce from Iganga.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Abeganga bali batya.
Abeganga gye bali balungi.
Ekibuuzo kyo mukwano.
Ekibuuzo kati aba nutrition balina program ky'ogenda mu community okusomesa abantu. Kubanga tulaba nga byetaaga bagende down si ku facilities.
Yes.
Ekyo ekibuuzo kyange.
Thank you so much. Plani shije bayina. Plani tutandikira nakweno. Tuli wano ku Bethan TV. Tuli mukubasomesa kati bw'omanya nti nutrition sport etuuse kunganya ekyalo kyonna ayita baneighbor bagamba omanye nesaawa emu katugiweeyo tuyige. But anyway, other maybe things can be explored besides this, but for now, anyway. I'll go back to Mercy as we try to wind up. You were still giving us your take-home message.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, I was talking about the fight against the cost of hunger and how much it is digging into the economy, whereby that money could be spent on different things. So it is joint effort. Yes, it is not left alone to the Ministry of Health or left alone to maybe Ministry of Education. It is a multifaceted kind of approach, whereby we are going to involve the different sectors to incorporate nutrition activities, not only in the health sector, but also in the education sector, like we already talked about, and also concerning allocation of finances, because there is a poverty alleviation initiative that is ongoing, but we should include nutrition in it. It is one thing maybe to say people are crying and they do not have money, and then instead of giving them money, it should be to a place of you are building the capacity of people to be able to sustain themselves, because continually providing something financial is not really sustainable, but availing things that will build their capacity to be able to fend for themselves and be able to curb this hunger through knowledge and thank you.
Yes, Peter.
All right.
Bakatiriza abali eruweero, abali neiganga, wherever.
Abali eruweero, abali eyiganga, abali erugazi, abali e Kampala, abali buli wamu. Nze ekigambo kye njagala okubalekera kiri nti tujoiningire wamu. Naddala kati banafu abali mu government, abali mu bintu ebyenjawulo ba stakeholders, kubanga cost of hunger is affecting sectors nyingi. So we appeal to everyone out there to join the nutritionists and also to value nutritionists and dietitians in the country, because they are really playing a major role. The advocacy that is going on is really major. We have done a lot of social behavior change communication in communities. There are very many initiatives that are going on out there, and I want to congratulate all of you, everyone, and especially the government of Uganda and the church in Uganda that is praying for Uganda, most importantly, because there is a lot that is really going on behind the scenes that we may not really know. But I want to encourage every one of us to join this fight as we try to alleviate the cost of hunger that is going on in our country, Uganda.
Thank you so much, Peter, and thank you so much, Mercy. You've done us so well. To our beautiful viewers, you've done an amazing job. Everyone that has commented on our social media, let me hope you've been able to also subscribe. If you've been watching live in your sitting room, kindly go onto the social media, YouTube, Facebook, and follow and like Bethan TV. You can also subscribe and hit the notification bell. As a nutrition sport, we do this every single Thursday, 8 to 9 p.m. So make it a deal for yourself to be here every single Thursday from 8 to 9 p.m. Like I've been saying and emphasizing, that do not miss out on the amazing programs that Bethan TV has. And guess what? Tomorrow we're enrolling something legit. So see you next Thursday. Good night.
Coming this July on Bethany TV.